Hey, welcome to Graphic Policy Television GPTV. I'm Brett. We got an interesting unboxing. This is the Walking Dead All-Out War collector's diorama from Mantic and Skybound. It features the infamous scene of Negan picking his victim between Rick, Glenn, Michonne, Carl, a few others. This was depicted in Walking Dead issue 100, as well as recently the first episode of season 7 of the Walking Dead television show. For those who don't know, the Walking Dead All-Out War is a miniature game, which means you go and you build teams of survivors in miniatures, and you go battle that out against other gangs out there, or you can battle walkers as well. There's tons of options, and the game is pretty damn fun. But this is a collector's diorama, not really meant to be played with, instead obviously showing off this scene. You can use Negan in the game, and it comes with some extra cards to use in the game itself. Price is about $50 in the US. That includes shipping, so it's fairly pricey to do. So we're going to open this up. We're going to open up and show it off what's inside with 6 miniatures depicting the scene where Negan makes his brutal decision, and an example of one member of Rick's group. Now, obviously, with the fact that it's called Eeny Meeny Miny Moe itself is slightly troublesome. Nursery rhyme does have some bad connotations to it, so we're not endorsing that at all, and that's about the only time I'm going to actually repeat that saying here on this video. So, but it is part of the scene, and, the best way of describing it, I don't know how else to really describe the whole scene. So let's open this up. We're going to show off what's inside. First, we have the base. It is resin. We've got these big giant pieces here, obviously, where the injection and kind of for the process to actually create it. This is going to be slightly pain in the butt to get off if you are new to modeling, and especially working with resin. You obviously want to be very careful. You don't want to crack this at all. But the detail is pretty solid. Obviously we've got the hole for where Negan's base goes, but you can see there's like footprints all around. We got tire tracks. So the base has a lot of detail to itself. And we've got all the figures in here. We're going to show off what's inside. Alright, let's start with Negan himself. There's a lot of detail on the figure. First thing I noticed is, of course, Lucille has her barbed wire. Looks absolutely great. His jacket, he's got the pockets on the other side. We can see the lapels there. There is some flash on here. Of course, we've got flash all around. So again, this is not necessarily a beginner's thing as far as working with miniatures and resin. There's a lot more out there that's probably easier to work with for folks who've never done this before. So be very careful when putting this together, because this could easily snap. I can see some of the pieces being rather fragile. But overall, the casting of the figure is really solid. Obviously, a lot of flash that needs to be taken care of, but not on the figure necessarily itself. It's pretty clean, and the detail is looking really great. We can see the barbed wire, as I said, and that's I think that's really top-notch. Next, we've got Rick, looking all anguished. He's, of course, missing his hand. He, too, has the flash here to kind of hold him, so that needs to be cut off carefully. There's a little bit more flash as far as the resin on either side, so there's going to be some more work that needs to be done to clean him up. But the detail is really, really great. We get the folds on the jacket, which is really solid and looks fantastic. But the things that immediately I notice is that the tread on the boots is visible. This isn't just some flat items. You can see the lines on the boot, which is a hell of an impressive thing to put on a miniature this small. And the look of the figure itself looks a lot like what I would expect from the comic book series. So all that looks great. There's some solid depth. The jacket to the shirt. The shirt is slightly wrinkled as well. Of course, he's missing his hand. So overall, I'm actually pretty impressed with that. Let's bring up next. Of course, we've got 2 more figures. Details solid as solid can be. This one doesn't have quite as much flash. There's a little bit needs to be cleaned up, but not ton. So this one will be pretty easy to work with and paint up. Let's go with Michonne next. Our figure looks absolutely fantastic. Of course, we've got the cloak. The cloak's got tons of wrinkles in the folds, which is absolutely amazing. We can see her skirt that she was wearing then, her belt, everything folds in. Even the braids in her hair is nice and detailed, and you can kind of see every single one on her head with the headband on top. This could be worth getting just for Michonne alone. This is absolutely amazing amount of detail of this figure. Again, we can see the treads in the boots, even what will wind up being on the display where you won't be able to see it. So overall, it's looking good. All right, let's go with Coral's head. This is obviously a piece of flash that broke off of somebody. All right, we're going to go with Coral's head, or his body and his head. Again, body looks great. There's some solid detail on the jacket. Not a whole lot of flash on the figure itself. You're, of course, going to have to break it off on the bottom. The bottom of the boots have tons of detail, and the pants and all that look great. So overall, really solid figure. His head will fit on pretty easily. We can see the patch in his eye. You can't see at this point. He's got his infamous hat, which looks great. But the bigger is the nice and twisted choice of which head that you want to use. For Glenn, we've got the smashed-in one, or him with his baseball cap before it got bashed in. The bashed-in one has got an eye popping out, which is pretty messed up, if you ask me. And, yeah, it's interesting. I guess we'll measure as to how sadistic you are based off which one you choose. But the details look fantastic. It does look like the figure in the character in the comic book. So that's awesome. Of course, we have his body kneeled over. This is probably, out of all of them, the cleanest one of the figures when it comes to that. And we've got another cap that you can go put on the base if you use the bashed-in one. And his arms, obviously, will go on as well. So, overall, like, the figures, I think, look top-notch. This is a great set if you're a Walking Dead fan and want to put a diorama together depicting this famous scene. We get 3 cards that you can use in the game. Of course, Rick Grimes, Coral, and Negan. You can see from these, you go and use points to go build your gang, and then you can battle out with each other. So, pretty cool miniature game, tabletop game. If you're into Walking Dead, highly recommend checking it out. If you want to get your own diorama, we've got a link beneath this video to Mantic's website where you can go and purchase your own. As I said, it's about $50 in the US to get it shipped and all that. If you're into Walking Dead, if you're into the Walking Dead comics, television show, whatever, you should check us out every single day at graphicpolicy.com. Of course, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Tumblr, all at Graphic Policy, keeping it nice and consistent. Until next time, as always, thanks for watching. Keep Lucille happy and keep it geeky. Hey, thanks for watching the previous video from Graphic Policy Television. Just by watching, you help support our site. Thank you so much. Now, if you're watching these videos, you probably care about geeky things like movies, television, comic books, toys, games, video games, you name it. You can go and subscribe right now to our YouTube channel to stay in touch and catch all the new videos, or check out our website at graphicpolicy.com. There's a nice link on this end of the video. But as always, thank you for watching. Keep on rocking and keep it geeky.